Good morning. It's Wednesday morning, and you know what? It's another beautiful sunny day. I'm getting used to this. I'm not going to be very happy when it gets hot and humid or rainy and crummy. So, today we're going to find out more about our visit with the family, and it didn't go anything like I predicted. I didn't even come close. So far, everything is just really going well. Chapter 23, Poppy and Junior. Yo, Mama, said Junior, grinning as Poppy approached. He was gazing at her intently, trying to see in her the things he had been told she had done. Where did you two go? Said Poppy, not knowing whether she felt angry or relief. Why didn't you tell me you were coming here? I was really worried. Sorry. And why are you all red? Wanted to be. Poppy looked around. Where's Mephitis? Waiting for me in the orchard. As Poppy reminded herself that they were surrounded by mice, all of whom were looking and listening to their discussion, Junior grinned at her. Hey, Mama, he said. They really like you here. I heard some wild stories, like about that owl, Mr. Okax. Is that true? I don't know what you've heard. How come you never told me about it? I've been too busy, but she felt a tap from behind. She turned. It was Lily. Papa said he really must talk to you, she said. I'll be right there, said Poppy. Junior, come with me. But Mephitis, he can wait. Now come. Oh, all right. Lily led the way through the crowd with Poppy and Junior close behind. No, really, Junior whispered. Is any of this stuff true? This isn't the time to talk about it, said Poppy. This, the house you used to live in? Yes. It's stupid. They climbed the porch steps and went into the house. Junior looked around. Whoa, this place is so crowded. He whispered, everyone heaped together. It is just a huge room like this one. There are 6 of them. Dumb, said Junior. No place to be yourself. It wasn't so bad in the old days, said Poppy. She saw sweet Cecilia and moved towards her. Mama, said Poppy, this is my son, Ragweed Jr. Junior, this is my mother, your grandmother. To Poppy's surprise, Junior grinned. Hello, Mama's mama. Sweet Cecilia stared at the young mouse and then flicked her ear once, then twice. Ragweed, she said to Poppy. Is that truly his name? Yes, Mama. Oh, dear. How regrettable. And why is he red? Is his father a red mouse? Poppy turned to Ragweed. Yes, Junior, she said. Why in the world are you red? The freaking berries weren't black. Freaking berries, said sweet Cecilia, her brow furrowed. What kind of berry is that? I got Mephitis to squeeze some over me. And his odor? Asked Poppy's mother. Well, said Poppy, he has a friend. Her voice trailed off, and for a moment, no one said a word. My friend's a skunk, said Junior. A skunk? Echoed sweet Cecilia. Poppy called Lily from the entryway to the boot. Papa is waiting. Perhaps, said sweet Cecilia, Junior might wait a bit. Why? Asked Poppy. Sweet Cecilia flicked her ears. Poppy, dear, his color, name, and smell. The other ragweed was not one of your papa's favorites. Mama, said Poppy, Junior's color is fine. As for his name, that's fine too. Now he needs to meet his grandfather. She pushed Junior forward, and the two of them walked toward where Lily was waiting. Okay, let's get ready, guys. This might be where it doesn't do so well. Hey, Mama, said Junior, do you like my new color? It's ridiculous. Hey, guess what? I never thought of you having a mama. Poppy stopped. Why? That would mean you were like me, and that's too freaking weird. Maybe I am, said Poppy, as she pulled the plaid tie away from the entry to the boot. And if you could refrain from saying freaking for the next 5 minutes, I'd very much appreciate it. Papa, she called, we're here. She turned to Junior. Come along. What's this place? An old boot. What's a boot? Never mind, just brace yourself. For what? Junior, just freaking brace yourself. Junior grinned and stayed close to his mother's side as they entered the dim boot and made their way to the toe. Chapter 24, Lungwort meets Junior. As Poppy and Junior approached, Lungwort sat up abruptly on his milkweed bed. He stared at Junior, eyes blinking rapidly, whiskers twitching. Papa, said Poppy, this is your grandson. Lungwort continued to gaze mutely at Junior. He coughed twice and then said, my eyes must be getting much worse. The young mouse appears to be red. Poppy took a deep breath. Papa, he is red. For the moment. Who did you say he was? Your grandson. My grandson? Yo, old mouse, said Junior. Are you Mama's papa? Poppy winced. I am, said Lungwort. That's free, Junior, cried Poppy. Junior squeezed his mouth shut with a paw. Lungwort frowned. Is his father red? Rye, Poppy managed to say, is a golden mouse. Why does this one smell? Papa, he's a teenager. Junior grinned. Lungwort continued to stare at him. I wasn't aware teenagers were required to smell. Does he have a name? Poppy hesitated for just a moment. Just as she was about to speak, Junior blurted, it's Lungwort, dude. My name is Lungwort Jr. Only they just call me Junior. He held out a paw. Pleased to meet you, old mouse. Mama always talks about you, telling me what a cool mouse you are. A startled Poppy stared at her son. Lungwort beamed with pleasure. My, he cried. Named after me. He turned to Poppy. You never told me that. He took Junior's paw and pressed it warmly. But remember, Junior said louder than before, I only answered to Junior. Then Junior it is, chortled Lungwort. I must say, I am honored to be so memorialized. Now, Papa, Poppy began. Lungwort cut her off with a raised paw. Poppy, you must leave me alone with this young mouse. He and I have much to say to each other. But, Scoot, Mama, said Junior, grinning widely. We Lungworts need to talk. Papa, with an imploring look at Junior, went out. Left behind, Junior slapped Lungwort on the back. Yo, Gramps, you're just the old mouse I need to talk to. About what, pray tell? I need to know everything about my mama. All the bad stuff she did when she was my age, and that ragweed she used to hang out with. What's up with him? The full loaded dirt. And about you too, I bet you were wild. Lungwort laughed. I think I can truly expound a fair amount about such subjects, he said. Indeed, you and I do have much to talk about. Well, Junior pulled that one off, didn't he? I'm truly amazed. Chapter 25, Family Talk. Poppy, her tail twitching ever so slightly, made her way out of the boot. Lily was waiting for her. Where's Junior? He's with Papa. Alone? Gasped Lily. They're getting on wonderfully. They are? I think so. Poppy considered her sister. She seemed very tense, with eyes welling with tears. Her whiskers drooped. Her ears flicked forward and back. Lily, you look sad. What is it? Lily shook her head. After a moment, Poppy said, It's you who looks after Papa, isn't it? Lily, wiping a tear from her cheek, nodded. Well, Mama and I. And he takes it all for granted, doesn't he? When Lily turned away, Poppy reached out and touched her sister. Listen, Lily, to me. You don't need to talk down to me, said Lily, just because you're the one who's going to become the head of the family. Lily, how many times must I say it? I have no intention of doing that. But you will, I know you will. You get your way with things like that. You've always been Papa's favorite. Lily, I was anything but his favorite, and I don't want to be head of this family. I am going back to my family. Why would you want to go back to that dark, dank forest and that dead tree with that dreadful, smelly porcupine living right next door? And I said, Poppy, can't believe you would want to live in a place without a shred of privacy. Lily held up her hair. I believe in loyalty to my family. Lily, I'm loyal to mine, said Poppy with all the force she could muster. But how could you walk away from all this? Because my life has changed, Lily. I like what it's become. I'm happy with it. Anyway, this house is about to fall down. For your sake, I hope it doesn't. But Junior is right. You're heaped together here. No privacy. Whatever happens, I am not going to stay. I still don't believe you, said Lily, and she rushed off. Poppy watched her go and started to follow, only to change her mind. The crowd of mice with all their noise had given her a headache. Hoping to find a quiet place and tickled by a memory, she made her way up to the attic of the house. Long ago, when no older than Junior, she had come upon a tin can shaped like a house, complete with chimney, for which she used as an entryway. Log Cabin Syrup, read the label. Poppy had licked the can clean, lined it with shreds of old newspaper, and declared it her private room. She was one of the few mice who wanted privacy. Moreover, Poppy suddenly recalled She had liked it dark, like Junior among the snag's roots. Why had she done that, she asked herself. The answer came quickly. That made it all my world. Here's actually a picture of the log cabin syrup tin, and I actually remember those, and I really don't know how long ago. I don't have any of you seen tins with log cabin syrup? I don't think they still make it like that. But it was really cool. It was a cute little tin with syrup in it, but I don't remember the brand. Upon reaching the attic, Poppy was disappointed to find it was as crowded as the rest of the house. Even so, she found her old can exactly where it had been and not looking very much different. She gave it a hard rap. It sounded as solid as ever. Heart swelling, she was just about to climb in when a sleepy young mouse, roused by the sound of Poppy's steps, popped out of the chimney. "Oh," cried a startled Poppy. "I'm sorry, I didn't think anyone would be here." "That's all right," said the sleepy mouse. "Who are you? Did you want me?" "No, it's just, this used to be my own room." The young mouse grew wide-eyed. "But you're Poppy, aren't you?" Poppy nodded. "Was this your space?" "Yes." "I'm sorry," said the mouse, jumping up. "It was empty, but if you'd like..." "Oh, no, that's all right," said Poppy, backing away. "It's not mine anymore. It's yours." "Are you sure?" "Yes." "I'm honored to have it," called the young mouse as Poppy hurried away. Feeling annoyed to have found the young mouse in her old room, but even more annoyed that she was annoyed, a tear coursed down Poppy's cheek. "Silly mouse," she scolded herself. "It's not your room. You left it long ago." She sniffed, wiped the tear away, and then began to giggle. "Poppy, decide who you are." The main room was teeming with chattering mice. To escape the noise and chaos, Poppy went out to the back steps. It was just as crowded, but when the mice saw the newcomer was Poppy, they shyly withdrew. Poppy made no protest. It was twilight. From the top of the back steps, Poppy could see the edge of Dimwood Forest, like a distant curtain. Above it, a half moon was rising. Thoughts of Rye and the children bedding down around the snag for the night filled her. She missed them terribly. Yet here she was at Grey House, quite convinced nothing could be done to save it. "I wondered if you'd be out here," came a voice. Poppy turned. It was her cousin Basil. "Can I join you?" he asked. "Please," said Poppy. "I'm really glad to see you." "Brought you some seeds," he said, offering Poppy a double paw of wheat berries. "Thank you. I haven't eaten all day." For a while the two sat side by side in silence, nibbling the seeds. "Basil," said Poppy after a while, "have you noticed when you're young, you don't want to be young? Then when you're older, you don't want to be old? But I guess it doesn't matter what we want. We're always getting older." "Oh my," said Basil, "you are low." "A bit." Neither of them spoke for a while until Poppy said, "Thank you." "For what?" "I haven't said anything." "Exactly," said Poppy. "Among the many things I've learned to love about Dimwood are its silent moments. Silence fills me. I don't know how I ever lived here. It's so crowded and noisy." "Gray House certainly isn't quiet," agreed Basil. "With so many living here, there really is no privacy. Some of us think it might not be so bad if this old house did come down. We need a change. Problem is, no one knows how to bring it about." "Basil," said Poppy, "everybody seems to think I can come up with a way to deal with the bulldozer." "You can't, can you?" "I doubt it," said Poppy. "We'd better do something before it happens," said Basil. "I don't think we have much time." "Basil," said Poppy after a while, "do you think our families are so hard?" "Why do you think our families are so hard?" "Can't say." "Maybe," said Poppy, "it's because they seem easy. It's like in the forest where there are these game trails. It's much easier to follow one than to make a path of your own. But they don't always take you where you want to go. And after a while, they vanish. And there you are, on your own anyway." The two cousins spent most of the night talking quietly, catching up on family gossip, sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles, children, and spouses, as well as shared friends. And when Basil finally left her, there were affectionate promises of more visits. Finally, a tired Poppy slept quite comfortably on the back steps. She didn't wake until she heard Lily's voice cry, "Poppy, a human has just arrived. He's heading for the bulldozer." Oh no, here we go. Something else is gonna happen. About the time I think everything's going well, then something else happens. Chapter 26. The Derrida, don't know whether I'm pronouncing that or not, Derrida Deconstruction Company. Uh-oh, that even sounds worse, doesn't it? Poppy jumped up. With Lily by her side, she rushed through the deserted house. The porch was filled with mice peering through the lopsided pales of the porch fence. Others were on the steps, so densely packed a few tumbled to the ground below. The squeaking and squealing was high-pitched and shrill. All were staring in one direction, toward the old tar road. Poppy squeezed through and looked for herself. There, parked on the road, was a battered green pickup truck, but on the side door was a boldly lettered sign, "The Derrida Deconstruction Company of Amperville." A man sat in the cab, staring at Gray House. As Poppy watched, he stepped out. He was a large man with a large stomach, gray hair, and a withered face. He was wearing tan overalls, heavy work boots, and a peaked cap with the word "AMPS" on it. For a while, the man simply stood by his truck and gazed at Gray House. Then, after exchanging his cap for a yellow safety helmet and giving a hitch to his overalls, he walked slowly toward the bulldozer. "He's going to knock the house down," cried one of the mice. There was a stampede to leave the porch. "No, wait," cried Poppy. "Let's see what he does." Breathless, the mice watched as the man went up to the bulldozer. He walked around it once, twice, occasionally tapping the treads with a boot. Then he climbed onto the driver's seat. "He's going to start it," screamed a mouse. "Be patient," urged Poppy. A few of the mice edged off the porch, but most stayed where they were. A sleepy Junior appeared. "What's happening?" he asked. "Come over here by me and watch," said Poppy. The man in the bulldozer reached under the levers and seemed to turn something. There was a great roaring sound as the engine started. Black fumes bellowed from the exhaust pipe. "Now," Poppy commanded, "off the porch. Empty the house. Leave your possessions. Just go." There was no holding the mice back. With a crescendo of terrified shrieking, they poured down the steps and tried to get away. Some of the mice were agile enough to leap from the porch. A few, pushed in the rush, fell. Happily, none was hurt or trampled. Lungwort, supported on one side by Lily and on the other side by Sweet Cecily, came to with Lily calling, "Please make way for Lungwort. Let Lungwort through, please." Poppy, with Junior by her side, remained where she was. "Hey, Mama," Junior said, "don't you think we'd better move too?" "We've got a little time," said Poppy. "I can see what's happening better from here." Junior glanced at his mother. Her calmness was a surprise to him. "You do like taking chances, don't you?" he said. As the old man continued to fuss over the machine, the great blade lifted and dropped, lifted and dropped. "What's he doing?" Junior whispered. "Shh." With the blade up and more levers pushed, the motor roared louder than ever. Next moment, the bulldozer jolted forward. The mice before the house began to flee. The machine rumbled forward a few yards, turning first one way, then another, until it was aimed right at Gray House. Then, abruptly, it halted, blade up. The engine stilled. The man in the cab lifted himself out of his seat and stepped down to the ground. He began to walk towards the house. "I don't get it," said Junior. "Just watch," said Poppy. "But if he gets any closer, be ready to run." A few yards away from the house, the man stopped to survey the old structure, then continued on to the porch. "Over here," hissed Poppy. She ran to one side of the porch and hid behind a broken flower pot. Junior stayed close. The man stepped onto the porch, removed his yellow helmet, and scratched his head. He looked through the main door into the house and sniffed. Making a sour face, he kicked the door frame and gazed about. On the porch, he shook the old rail, causing it to fall off. Slowly, the man walked back to his truck. He took one final look at the house, exchanged his helmet for his peaked cap, and then climbed into his truck cab. In moments, he drove off. The mice watched in deep silence. "I don't get it," Junior whispered. "What did he do all that for?" "I'm not sure," said Poppy. "Testing the machine, perhaps. I think he was deciding how best to knock the house down." "When's he going to do that?" "Soon, I suppose," said Poppy. "I hate him," said Junior. "Why?" "It's our house, isn't it? Not his." Poppy looked at him. "Our house? What's wrong with saying that?" demanded Junior. "I thought you hated it." "I never said that." The mice began to emerge from their hiding places and return to the house. Jabbering nervously to one another, they endlessly repeated what they had seen, talking about what might happen next. "Come on," Poppy said to Junior. "I'd like to look over the machine. Maybe we can get some ideas. And I need to ask you a few things." Okay, that's all we're going to read for today. I don't know what's going to happen. Poppy and Junior are going to talk for a while because I don't know whether she knows what's going to happen. But we'll find out tomorrow.